Hello everyone, it's
Hi.
Maddie and
Madison.
with Spectrum Art. Welcome to our channel. If you are new here, please read the description down below.
Um, um, Welcome to our sunny Florida.
That's right, welcome to sunny Florida. It is a gorgeous day today again. Actually, it's kind of funny because it was really bright blue and then it just kind of went gray, but I love gray days too, so I am A-okay either way. It is just nice and drizzly and almost like a New England day, which I kind of love. But today we are going to be making true mixed media pieces. So get ready to gather up a whole bunch of stuff because we know how mixed media works. If you don't, then this is a great place to start because what we're going to do is everything. Mixed media has paper, metal,
Blue.
fabrics, yeah, lace, plastic. I mean, that's what makes it mixed media, right? That's what makes it mixed media is that we're going to be using everything on here from lace to napkins to buttons to die cuts to washi to charms, you name it, we're going to throw it in there and layering up, and that's what makes these pieces true mixed media and very interesting to look at, right? Because every one of them is like a mini story in itself. I'll bring this up closer if you haven't seen them already. I did actually, I'm going to link down below the video on how to make these dangly charms. So you can go ahead and give those a whirl and add those to your stash because they're great to have around. But today we are going to actually be going through how to make this or any of these tags, and you'll see that they just have lots of interesting layers and elements, all very cohesively put together. So how are we going to do that? We're going to need a lot of materials, so get ready. We're going to gather our materials first and then we're going to get to creating. So I'm going to move these to the side and bring over the materials that we're going to need. First thing is we're going to need some chipboard or some cereal box, right? I love recycling, you all know that, so this is going to be a recycled box that we're going to be using for the base. So a cereal box is going to work great. You're going to need some decorative paper as well. Now, it could be from a paper collection, it could be
your homemade paper.
it could be a homemade paper. It could be something that you've actually printed. This was actually gifted to us from a friend, Kateri, and she
Printed it.
yeah, she had a whole bunch of these that she wasn't using, so she sent us some and shared it, and we're going to be using that as our decorative paper base. You're going to need some glue, obviously, to adhere your paper. You're also going to need a nail file, which I have somewhere on here, or some sort of file, which is going to help you with both the napkins and as well as removing. It is imperative that you remove that glossiness off of the cereal box or your recycled boxes. So this works really great for that. You're going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need some napkins. Now, we are going to be using our little bag that we keep with bits and pieces. These are just bits and bobs from other projects that we've done. We don't throw them away. We keep them in here, and then we go ahead and use them, you know, for the projects like these. So don't ever throw those little tiny pieces. I mean, not like tiny, but you know, at least, you know, one by one, keep and put in a bag. We're going to, for ours, we're going to be needing, you're going to be needing distress inks or some sort of ink. We're going to be using vintage photo and we're going to be using black soot. So those are the two that we'll be using for ours. You're going to need a stencil as well. And I'm sorry if we have one more ink that we're going to be using, but I'll share that with you. Any stencil that you have, we're going to be using this one right here. And you can see those numbers right here actually pretty clearly throughout. Actually, you can see them pretty much on all of them. See? So we're going to be using that. You are going to need some kind of contrasting color. In this case, we're going to bring in seedless preserves because I think it's going to clash very well with that blue. So we're going to bring in that color. Again, your color might vary depending on what paper you're starting with, right? Your base, because it's all going to hinge on that. What else are we going to need to push those through? We're going to need some of the distress brushes. So use those. If you use your daubers, that's fine too. These right here. These right here will work as well. And some people have the cosmetic sponge ones that, that are homemade. So that's also another great thing to go ahead and use. You're going to need book pages to give it some, not only these images, not only did the image come from a book, but also the script. So rather than using a stamp, we went ahead and just used book pages. One of our favorite books to pull from are the encyclopedia, the Golden Home, because they are just full of great images and text. You find all kinds of interesting stuff in here. And it varies from birds to text to pictures to maps. So we actually look at all those little ones. We actually go ahead and love to pull from these. And again, they have a lot of colors: teals, oranges, browns. Oh, look at that pumpkin. How cool is that? For maybe a Thanksgiving or Halloween tag. And look at those butterflies, some creepy bugs maybe for Halloween as well. So lots of great stuff. So we pull from this one. Oh, look at those kiddos. So we love pulling from this, and that's what we're going to be using. We are also going to be using some fabric. And for that, we've actually selected this piece, and we just cut it from a much larger piece. And you see that here in the back. In addition to that, you'll notice that behind it, there's also lace. So we're going to be using a piece of lace. All right, so I hope you guys are gathering this as we're reading them. And feel free to stop the video at any time to catch up as well, because I know I'm kind of reading them off quickly. You're going to need a seam ripper or any kind of, tool that you want to use to go ahead. You can use a safety pin to go ahead and pull those fibers, right? And kind of make them look all frayed. So we use this for that.
Or a lighter.
No, that would be to seal it, honey. We're actually doing the opposite. We're ripping it. You're going to need an eyelet, which I didn't bring the box, but you know what an eyelet looks like, right? Of course. There it is. Right there. And you're going to need an eyelet setter. You can use your crocodile if you'd like. Of course, that is optional. You do not have to do that. I like to do that because it really finishes the project. And then you're going to need some sort of paint. For us, we went ahead and used water-soluble crayons. You can use the Tim Holtz distress crayons if you like, or you can use these types. You could also use your watercolors. You could use your acrylics. You could use any kind of paint that you have at hand. We're going to use that to go ahead and create some shading and to blend in some color. You're going to also need again, some sort of a paint or something to create the shading. So I'm using a watercolor brush, which is brown, and then you're going to need a brush and water, or a water brush in this case, 2-in-1, right? What else? We're going to need some washi, and you might want to pick up some interesting die cuts or stickers or whatever you have. In this case, we went ahead and used a fence on all of these, and we'll probably do that again to make this additional one so I can show you another replica, similar replica. So there's that die cut that we used, but you could use stickers if that's what you have at hand. What else are you going to need? I thought of something just now and I went blank. We're going to need, of course, like I said, the paper clip embellishments, which we've made a few, and again, I'll link that video down below. And most importantly, you're going to need some interesting images. Again, we did pull the vases, all these right here, from the book, as well as the text that's back here on both of these. But to create the layering, all of these yummies, right, all of these pretties right here, we went ahead and used a digital kit. And I'll show you. We actually went through, these are Tracy Fox's digital kits, and one of them gave us all of these great images, which I printed in different sizes. But look at, I just saw that butterfly, and it just goes so well with that paper. See, not even knowing. So you end up using that, but we have all kinds of little, look at that one too. Oh, that's even prettier. So we have bingo cards, we have like bus tickets, we have pictures, all kinds of stuff that we're going to be able to collage with. We even have some tags that we can layer with. So you want to get yourself some interesting images. We're also going to be using some of these. These are her labels, and they are round and rectangle, square, all kinds of shapes. Some of them have images. See, there's a butterfly. Some of them have the two. And I can link those as well below for you guys because they're very inexpensive and just print beautifully. So you'll need some of those. And then finally, you're going to need some sort of fibers. You're going to need, whether you have yarn at hand, twine, sari silk, organza ribbon, a combination of all of the above, whatever you want to go ahead and just add at the top for your fibers, that would be phenomenal. So these are the tools that we're going to need. I know it is a long list, but we're going to need a few pieces here and there. While you have it out, I will suggest that you go ahead and do like I do. I create, 4 tags at a time, sort of thing, 2, 3, whatever, 6 you want to do, so that way you can actually have an array, and as you're doing one layer, you're actually laying them in an assembly kind of line, and then by the time that this glue dries, you'll be here at the end, and then, come right back around and add the next layer. But I'm going to go ahead and probably speed through the rest of the process because it is a long process. It does take some time. Mixed media always does. We know that. It's what makes it special. It's what makes it so layered. It's what makes it yummy, right? So to do that, we're going to take some time. I think I timed the last project I did, and I think it took me a little bit over an hour per tag. And they are double-sided. I left the back, clean on all of them so they could, oh, God bless you. So they could, God bless you. So they could be journaled on. Oh, God bless you again. Oh my goodness. Was that 4? Wow, God bless you. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get cranking and make something really, really special. Well, I apologize. I actually thought I was filming, but I'll catch you up. No, no biggie. What I went ahead and did was I went ahead and let it dry and dried it a bit using the tool. I made sure everything was pressed down and adhered well. Then I went ahead and I think I had already done the corners here. And I did that by using my handy dandy homemade corner chomper. Of course, you have corner chompers from We Are Memory Keepers. You have also the angle cutter from We Are I mean, there are lots of ways of doing it. You can also just measure with a ruler and scissor, right? So but the point was to go ahead and make those angles. Also, I went ahead and did the distressing. So I used two different colors. I used the black soot and went around the edges because, again, remember, we have those edges that aren't finished. So went around, and I know it's kind of hard to tell because it's thin, but I went around and did the black edging. Then I went ahead and came in with a couple of layers of the vintage photo, and you'll see that that's that brown you see around the edges. And I used my nail file, I forgot to tell you, and I went like this, obviously to strip away any of that napkin, and it just kind of falls apart when you do that. See, there was a little piece right there actually, so that worked out perfect. And actually, look, there's a little piece right there too, and you just kind of do this and it just files it perfectly. So, and I know that's a grinding noise, so I apologize. But once I was done with that, I went through my two baskets, and I'm sorry, but again, it's just process of elimination. You kind of play with it and you see what works for you. These are the ones that I actually picked that I thought would work. And so now we're up to this point where I'm going to go ahead and start thinking about the placement of the fabric, the washi. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and push through our ink with a stencil and our brush. So that's what you're about to see coming up. Now for hearing fabric, I am using Fabri-Tac. There are many different types of adhesive. That's just this put into a smaller bottle. There are many different types of fabric adhesive, so you just feel free to use your favorite one. Okay, so we've got all of our placement done. Now it is up to us to go ahead and think about fabrics, think about charm. Remember, we had created those really cute paper clip dangling charms. So we can go through these, and that's why I said kind of put them in your bag and leave them there. That looks cute. Nope, too much teal. And I just kind of go through the process of elimination, right? That's what we all do. And remember, you can also always ink up a little bit the sides. So if it looks too stark white, don't be afraid to use it. That's perfectly okay. Maybe one of those. I'm feeling a brighter color because I have some white down here as well as the fabric. Of course, we are going to actually dole that up in a bit. So, it's a tough one. I think I'm feeling that one. I think we're gonna go with that. Okay. Because that has the pinks, it's got the greens, it's got the teals, it's got basically everything that we're working with here. And again, if you feel like it needs to be distressed some, you can always just take your distressing tool. And I like it this way, but I'm just gonna show you can just dole it up a bit like that, right? Just kind of so it's not so stark white. Just a little touch. Okay. Next thing to do is to go ahead and select our beads or bling to go down the middle like these, right? And select our charm. And then of course to pick our fibers to go up at the top. The other thing that I'm going to also go ahead and do is, as I had explained, we're going to use our watercolors to go ahead and you know, do the shading. Actually, I'll do that now and then I'll come back and show you the finished dangle. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on that. So if I see that there's a color up here, for example, down here that I want to bring up or vice versa, then that's where I kind of play with the watercolors. So I know right off the top of my head that I see this light green right here that I really would like to bring. So I'm going to look for something that matches that. Here we go. How about this one? Oh yeah. And then we'll use this to do the shading around the fence. All right, our shading is done. We can see now that the picket fence as well as the buttons and the other images have kind of been blended in, as well as the green has been brought in to kind of match that button throughout. So the next thing to do is to go ahead and work on our dangle and our fibers. And again, there's a video on how to go ahead and create these dangles, which is going to be linked below. So if you want to stop at this point in time and click on that to create the dangle and then come back, you're more than welcome to do that. But I will be right back with that dangle and our fibers to finish it off. And we are done. We have, first of all, cleaned off our desk because I couldn't handle that mess anymore, right? And we've actually went ahead and added our dangly paper clip embellishment, as well as a jump ring and a key. We went ahead and added these metallic blingy pieces, hopefully. Hang on, let me see, am I in frame? Yeah, there we go. But they look like this. They're little metal pieces. Lots of good yumminess. And we just try to pick up on the bronze from the key because of course we had used these this paper here with some pennies which are bronze, so it kind of again all ties in, just like we brought in that green. If you notice, I brought in the green here as well, and then of course try to pick up that purple here as well. So it's a matter of tying it all in. But great opportunity, huge, big, beautiful jumbo mixed media piece. I'm sure yours are going to be fabulous as well. We hope that you like this one. But use up all the stuff you have, whether it's your images, your digital kits, your buttons. Everyone's got pieces of fabric laying around, and if you don't, I'm sure you have a pair of something that you don't use anymore, right? Feel free to cut it up, use it. The same thing with the lace and the washi. We all have washi and are usually wondering why it's still sitting there. Go ahead and use it. Make sure you reinforce it by actually putting some glue on it. If you notice, that's what I did, because washi does lose adhesiveness over time, and you don't want that coming back up either. So once again, we hope that you guys will give it a try, that this helps you actually break that blank canvas or cereal box that you might have laying around. Remember to recycle as well. And if you have any questions, please feel free, or comments, to leave them down below. We hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, and that you'll also share it in your favorite groups, right? Or your Instagram, or what else? Your
Facebook.
yeah, or you'll pin it in your Pinterest folders, right? Thank you so much for joining us. You guys have a blessed day, and we will see you back soon. Bye.